The Denver Broncos play the Cincinnati Bengals on Monday Night Football. Can the Denver Broncos use this as a get-right game where we can finally play complimentary football? Evan Ingram is at full health and is looking to go for Monday Night Football, and Nate Atkins is back as well. Will we see more tight end sets? And what can we do about the inside linebacker defense? And can we expect this defense to perform just as well this week as we have so far? Welcome to another episode of
Tune in, now it's time to sit. Orange and blue, we never quit. Broncos pride is lit legit. Every week we're bringing grit. Orange and blue, we bring the heat. Podcast grind and can't be beat. Every play, every style we meet. Blitz so hard it's on repeat. Mile high dreams we elevate. Break it down, we narrate. From the field to the fan debate. Broncos Country, we dominate. We got the passion, we got the drive. Orange and blue keeps us alive. Every tackle, every stride. It's the Blitz where legends thrive.
Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Happy Friday. Thank you guys for tuning in. Welcome to another episode of Orange and Blue Blitz, brought to you by the Orange and Blue Network. I am your host, Isaiah Henderson, also known as the Bronco Gentleman on Twitter, so that's where you can follow me as well. Also, other places you can follow us. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow us on Facebook, anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts. We are on the path to 539. We are right at the cusp. We're almost there, guys. So we need you guys to keep hitting that subscribe button for the Bo Nix jersey giveaway. And therefore, when we hit 750 subscribers, we will have another giveaway, and we will reveal that after the first giveaway. So make sure you guys are subscribed to us on YouTube, because that puts you in the running for that. And don't forget to hit the notification bell. It's Friday, so this evening after this show at 6 p.m., we will have Vivos Los Broncos. And then I'm not sure whether or not we'll have an Orange and Blue Blitz on Monday, because the game is on Monday, but we will have the Get Buck Game Day show on Monday. I will be hosting that. So we'll just see how things go. But if there is no show on Monday, no, that's because there is a game that night where we have the Game Day show and the post-game show. All right, guys, as you guys heard in the introduction, we play the Bengals this week. And the question is can this be I don't want to say a get right game, because I don't think we have earned the right to overlook the Bengals. Even though the Vikings put up 48 points on them, even though we have a good pass rush, I don't think we have we haven't earned the right to overlook the Bengals or overlook any game. We haven't played complimentary football once this season, and it's coming toward the end of September, and we're hoping through the first month, as Coach Payton says, the race to get better. Sean Payton's teams don't do good in September, but they do good in the month after. So hopefully we can end this month 2-2, but we haven't played complimentary football yet so far. So we're having a quote unquote revenge game against the Bengals. This time it's at home in Denver, and it's without Joe Burrow, but it's also still with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins as well. Noah Fant is in concussion protocol, so he might not play. Shamar Stewart is dealing with an ankle injury, so the defense is still a little shaky. But we still have not played complimentary football. They're still picking on our inside linebackers, whether it's in the game or whether it's in the pass game. Our inside linebackers are a target, and it's bringing down the defense, I believe, and it's prolonging drives in between the 20s. So when it comes to the red zone, we're really good in the red zone because it's less room, less space. The defense has the advantage there. But when it comes to in between the 20s and it's spread out in the open field, they definitely pick on our inside linebackers. So we haven't earned the right to really overlook the Bengals. That's one of the reasons why we haven't played consistent defense. Our pass rush has been consistent. Our pass rush has been elite. Our offensive line has been elite. Our run game has been spotty with explosive plays, and the same thing with our pass game. So one of the things they talked about this week was the offensive identity and when that's going to come around. And I think all that's into the race to get better. And I think this is a game where you can begin to forge your identity. Get some more RJ Harvey consistent runs, and same thing with J.K. Dobbins. Get the run game going, as well as get Bo Nix in a rhythm as well. Get his completion percentage up. He's grown so far from the first few weeks of Week 1 against the Titans. He had 3 turnovers, 2 interceptions, 1 fumble. Week 2 against the Colts, he had 1 interception. In Week 3 against the Chargers, he had 0 turnovers. So you're seeing that he has grown in the in the area of turnovers over the first month. They've dwindled down. Last year in the first 4 weeks, he didn't have a touchdown, and now I believe he has 3 or 4 with 2 interceptions. I think yes, he has 4. Yes, 4 or 5 touchdowns. I'm not sure. In the first month as well. So we're seeing that growth from last season. And also one thing we're seeing is his footwork still needs to improve, but we're seeing him stay in the pocket and not bail out as much and try and stay and work within the pocket and step up and slide up. We are seeing that as well, instead of him bailing out. So we're seeing some growth within the first month. And I think now it seems like this game is like a graduation. It's an accumulation. Hey, this is what we said we saw in the offseason, the growth. Over the first month, we've seen bits and parts of it come together. Like Week 1, we saw high turnover Bo. And then Week 2, we saw that decrease. Okay, so we've seen that growth. And then the footwork in the pocket, we saw it improve slowly but surely. And then last week, there was some miss on some deep throws in alignment with the footwork as well. And I believe that this is the week where we see those explosive plays hit more often on the boundary. And with Evan Ingram come back, I think we're going to see them look fit. I think we're actually going to see. I think with Evan Ingram, it's one of those situations where he's got to get used to the team. The team's got to get used to him. And so with him being unproductive the first couple of weeks, then him missing a week due to injury, I think this is a situation where I wouldn't say we didn't appreciate him while we had him, but we didn't use him while we had him. Then we lost him. Now we have him back. I think we're going to appreciate him more and definitely use him more. And I think this is where we're going to open up the field and really start to. I believe this is definitely going to be an Evan game, and I think it can also be RJ Harvey game because of the defense. So those are the 2 guys I'm definitely looking for in this game. We got Dak in the comments. He said, "What's up, Isaiah? Last year before 7 sacks for Cincy. Let's do it again." Yeah, I believe we absolutely can. Week 1, we had 6 sacks. And I think so far the most impressive game we had was against Justin Herbert. I mean, unfortunately, we didn't, but we had 5 sacks, 8, 9, 10 quarterback hits. And so this is definitely another game where we can come out and really have a ton of quarterback hits, get him off his mark, sack them early, get in third and long situations, and our offense can really get in a rhythm. So, yeah, I think we can do it again. Dave Glassman, who I beat Week 1, came back and beat Week 1 in fantasy in the comments. He says, gives us orange and blue hearts. And Shy in the comments says, I think we can beat the Bengals. I definitely agree. And so with Evan Ingram coming back and Nate Atkins coming back again, if you saw the injury report, we're definitely seeing the health of this team begin to get better. So far, J.K. Dobbins and Talanoa Hufanga have been the really 2 healthy ones. 2 out of the 4 free agents that we signed so far have played every game and been productive. I think Talanoa Hufanga is only going to get better. And I think J.K. Dobbins is only going to get better as well. And I think RJ Harvey is going to kick it into gear. Dre Greenlaw's on IR, so earliest he can come back is Week 7. No, Week 8. So he can come off IR Week 8. So that gives some pressure off the team, pressure off Dre, and so they'll be able to get him right. And then, so until then, we've got these inside linebackers. But with Evan Ingram coming back and Nate Atkins coming back at the same time, now we have 4 tight ends. So we have Evan Ingram, Nate Atkins, Adam Troutman, Lucas Kroll. Dre Greenlaw. Adam Prentice was taking. The inside linebacker was also being brought up, and so was Adam Prentice, the fullback. So I'm curious to see with Nate Atkins back and Evan Ingram back healthy, is Lucas Kroll inactive? Is he a healthy scratch? And do we go with Troutman, Ingram, Troutman, and Atkins as the 3 tight ends? Do we see more two tight end sets with Evan Ingram and Nate Atkins? So now the defense doesn't know because Nate Atkins is known for sneaking out and catching passes. He can block as well. So we're going to see more two tight end sets with Atkins and Ingram together this week. And I think this is a good time for that and definitely start to run the ball. So that's definitely going to be very interesting with the offensive play call. Shout out to Courtland Sutton. It's one thing that Broncos Country hasn't talked about. Courtland Sutton had a big game, 6 catches for 118 yards and a touchdown. Unfortunately, no one else did anything else in the receiving department, and we still only lost by a field goal. And we've led in the fourth quarter of every game except for the last second in the last 2 games. So the other receivers, for whatever reason, Troy Franklin wasn't targeted. The other receivers, Marvin Mims was, but Troy Franklin has, got to get him more involved. Definitely use him to open up the middle of the field. I want to see, I was thinking about this today. I want to see Pat Bryant start to take snaps from Trent Sherfield, not because Trent Sherfield had a penalty, but that's not enough to give. But I want to see Pat Bryant with more because I think he's better with his better receiver, route runner. And I want him to see him get some more snaps. I think he can open up the middle of the field as well. Strong, aggressive hands over the middle of the field. So that way teams aren't just teeing off and Sutton. But then you have multiple guys. I definitely want to see some more. Well, it's hard to because we're so awful on first and second down. It's hard to use the back out the backfield for receiving as much as you want to get those 4 or 5 yard catches that turn into 7, 8 yard gains. We saw it once against the Colts with Roger Harvey. We saw it last week with a touchdown where Bo Nix threw it. J.K. Dobbins made a great one-handed catch and took it for a touchdown. But I want to see some more, come out and stop routes, choice routes with the running backs, and definitely utilize them often. We've got to do better, be more consistent on first and second down. And that's creating for and it's putting us in tough positions and off the field. So this offense has to form an identity. Good pass pro. So it's the offense, the whole team itself is inconsistent. It's good pass rush, awful inside back, pretty good back end coverage. But when you can see when you don't have even decent good inside linebackers, it throws the whole defense off. And then on the flip side, when you hold them to a field goal in the red zone and the offense comes on the field, but the offense has good pass pro, but they're inefficient with the run on first and second down, then you have to field on 3 and out. And then that defense once again has to bend but don't break all over again. So teams are like, hey, I'll go field goal for field goal with the Broncos. I'll get down there and go field goal for field goal and the Broncos, and I'll and hopefully Sean Payton calls up a great play and we get an explosive play and we hit it. And hopefully we get a touchdown off that. And even when our defense pins their ears back and gets a 3 and out, offense turns around to 3 and out. And so, throughout your camp and following along, you always, when the tweets, it was very rarely that the offense went goal to goal and scored a touchdown in the time that they were supposed to. So our offense needs that clutch gene. And I think the run game and Evan Ingram is the key to that. Shai says, is this where RJ Harvey has his breakout game? Yeah, I think but Dave comes in and says, I'm feeling another Dobbins game. Cincinnati's I think he can be more. It can just break out receiving, but in a sense of consistent running the ball because we had some success against Cincinnati last year. I think this can be a game where Dobbins has 100 rushing yards, and he's on the brink. If I'm correct, chat, correct me if I'm wrong. Dobbins hasn't had 100 yards rushing this season, but he's been close. Let me check right now. He's been close. So I think, Dave, this could definitely be a game where he gets out early and every time he's just consistent and he breaks 100 yards. He's got 222 yards on the season. He's 10th in the NFL. And he's got 3 touchdowns, and he's 3rd in the NFL in touchdowns. And he's averaging 5 yards a carry. So you have a top 10 run in yards and touchdowns. Let's see. He's on the cusp. Against the Titans, he had 16 carries for 63 yards. Indianapolis, he had 14 carries for 76 yards. Against the Chargers, he had 11 carries for 83 yards. So he's there. He's on the cusp. Not 100 yards, not 100, but a touchdown. Yeah, he's what did that say? He's third. He's tied for 3rd in the NFL in rushing. So if he goes if he puts up, and he's 10th in the NFL in rushing yards. So if J.K. Dobbins has a 100-yard rushing game and puts up 2 touchdowns this game, he'll be top 2 in rushing touchdowns, and he could probably even be, top 5. So we haven't had a running back that's been top 10 in a long time. Yeah, I heard you guys say that. I'm not seeing it pop up on my end, so that's kind of crazy. That sucks. Anyway, show's almost over anyway. But yeah, the Broncos haven't had a top 10 running back in a very, very long time. Courtland Sutton's flirted with top 15 as a receiver, top 12. Haven't had a top 10 quarterback. We've had top offensive line, top defense, top DB, but a top running back and a top rushing game is very rare in Broncos country. So I'm very excited to see this continue. And I agree with you, Dave, that this can definitely be a J.K. Dobbins game. And I think he could be, like I said, with Shaw, a receiving game for R.J. Harvey. Get him some passes out, get him some screens out in the open, give him some choice routes, maybe line him up a little bit. But this offense has to get going. And I think the issue with the Broncos, and the scary part about the Broncos, is that it's no secret you can currently pick on our inside linebackers for the next few weeks, whether it's in the run game or whether it's in the pass game. And with our schedule, here's the thing about our schedule so far. We can get a win against the Bengals and pass and get through passing. We can win handily if we're playing complimentary football. But then we play the Eagles next week. And sure, you could say, hey, maybe we're not as vulnerable in the pass game. But those behemoth of offensive linemen in that run game with Saquon Barkley will expose the inside linebackers. Talanoa Hufanga should have like 15 tackles that game, if I'm being 100% honest. And then after that, we play the Eagles, and then we play, let's see, who do we play after? Broncos schedule. Yeah, so we play the Bengals, Monday Night Football, Eagles. We play the Jets. So we can win against the Bengals. Our inside linebackers in the run game will definitely be exposed against the Eagles. Talanoa Hufanga should have 15 tackles that game. And then we play the Jets, where we can, and that's an overseas game where our linebackers can get away with blitzing, and we definitely got to watch the run depending on who's playing. If it's Justin Fields, we may have to spy him, but if it's Tyrod Taylor, definitely we can get away with that. And we play the Giants. Giants are not a team to sneeze at. They've got a good defense. And then we play the Cowboys again. And we play the Texans, and then we play the Raiders. So we've got a good run where we can get some complimentary football. A good, what is this? Before we play the Chiefs in November. So it is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That looks like 5 wins in a row after the Eagles, plus the Bengals. So that looks like 6-1 over the next 7 weeks, which would put us at what? 7-3? 7-3 before we play the Chiefs. Before we play, we play the Raiders once. So that would make us 1-1 in the division. We play the Raiders right before we play the Chiefs. So that put us 1-1 in the division. We're 7-3, 1-1 in the division. And then we play the Chiefs. And so depending on Chiefs may have that many losses as well. So this will be at Denver. So those are back-to-back home games. So if over this stretch, especially starting with this game, we can establish that offensive identity. Hey, if J.K. Dobbins, and here's the thing, he only has 16 rushes. He's got 16, 14, 11. His rushes went down. His yards went up. Rushing yards have went up, and his average has gone up. But that's what explosive plays. I don't expect that to stop with this Bengals defense. But here's why I believe there's a possibility that J.K. Dobbins could play his first full healthy season. Sean Payton needs to continue to do the split running back more and more and continue. If the running game is what's leading this, Sean Payton, then put your pride aside and lean on the running game. If that's what's the identity of this team is, hey, the Broncos defense, those big maulers are going to run the ball, and then you can use that identity to get off play action, get ball outside. Hey, maybe you can get in some completions early, take those explosive plays when you need to, but definitely lean on the run game. And you have this stretch of the Bengals, and especially with the Eagles, you're going to need that as well. This is the time to get consistent and get that confidence up going into Philly, because the Eagles are going to do time of possession. And if you're in the red zone and they've got that run game, you're not going to stop them. You're just going to run the whole time. And if we can't stop them in between the 20s, then the Eagles are just going to hold the ball. And Vic Fangio, and last week against the Chargers, and it's becoming a trend, teams are just zoning out their offense. And I think this is where Evan Ingram can really step in and really start to hurt that zone and really tear up that zone, and the running backs can do the same as well. Because I think what Sean Payton said, he had a single man coverage snap against the Chargers. They won the last second field goal, but they got the win. So Fangio's going to run zone against us and make us beat the zone, come up and tackle. Maybe we break the zone by running the ball, but that's what we're going to need as well. And down this stretch as well, when maybe you want to air it out a little bit more against these teams like the Jets and all this other stuff and the Texans, well, the Texans have an excellent defense as well. That's going to be a defensive game as well. But if we have a run game and an offensive line, which the Texans don't, we can get these wins. So it's time to start leaning on our strengths, lean on the run game, lean on the pass rush. And hopefully by, let's see, what I said, week 7. So that means the Giants, Drake Greenlaw wouldn't play, but against the Cowboys at home, Drake Greenlaw makes his debut. And so you're definitely going to need that line against, the Texans kind of run that against the Chiefs, and then you have and then you get the Commanders, you get the Raiders, you get the Packers, you get the Jaguars. The Jaguars have a good offensive line. The Jaguars have defense. You get the Chiefs, and you get the Chargers. And so if you're 7-3, going into week 8 against going into the Chiefs, 7-3, and let's say we beat the Chiefs because their pass rush is good and the Chiefs offense they have no run game. And by this time, week 11, we should have Drake Greenlaw, right? Should have Drake Greenlaw, have Malcolm Roach back. Drew Sanders will be back. Drew Sanders maybe we're starting healthy. Malcolm could be back. Malcolm Roach could be back against the Eagles, or he could be back against the Jets. Drew Sanders could be back against the Jets, or he could go back against the Giants. So coming into after this run, by week 10, we should all be healthy against the Raiders. By the Texans, we should all be healthy. Defense, Drew Sanders, Malcolm Roach, Drake Greenlaw coming back. So that last stretch of the season where you got the Chiefs and then you get the bye week, right? So then let's say we beat the Chiefs going into the bye week, right? And so we're 8-3 going into the bye week. We're 2-1 in the division. At this point in time, we're second place for sure in the division, because the Chargers at this point in time will be 3-0. I don't know who else. They probably wouldn't play anybody else into the back end, I'm assuming. But we're 2-1 in the division, and we're 8-3. So we're sitting good. We've knocked down the Raiders, the Chiefs, and the AFC. We've knocked down the Texans, and we've taken out the Jets. And so then we go into the bye week, right? We're 8-3 going into the bye week. We're 2-1 in the division. Once we come out, and so hopefully by this time, we've got our identity. Drake Greenlaw's back. Our defense is Super Bowl caliber. And we've got the Commanders. Jaden Daniels having injury problems. They're trying to find their run game. Their defense is pretty decent this year, but they're old. So that can definitely be a win for sure. Then we get the Raiders again, which I think is a win again. So now we're 3-1 in the division, and now we're 10-3. Then we've got the Packers. That's a huge game at home. And so that can go either way. And then we've got the Jaguars, an AFC opponent. And then we've got the Chiefs, and then we've got the Chargers. So the Chiefs are going to want revenge for that game at home, and then we've got the Chargers afterwards, which we'll be chasing. So health and the team finding their identity by then can be found with this game, continue with the Eagles, and hit its full stride on that 5-week stretch. Ashton Gorick said, "Chill, Denver ain't going nowhere." We ain't nowhere right now, but it's only week 4, so we'll talk after Monday Night Football, and so we'll see about that. But we still can win the division. I think there's a possibility that last game against the Chargers is going to be for the division, but we'll see. All right, guys, we are headed out. I appreciate you guys tuning in for another episode of Orange and Blue Blitz on this Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. Like I said, stay updated for Monday. Like I said, because normally I have a show on Monday, but the game is Monday night, so I may just do a show because I think on Wednesdays are usually our busiest day. So there will be a Get Bucked Game Day show on Monday, an hour before the game starts. I will be hosting that. Johnny will be going to another game, so he won't be here hosting. But I'm pretty sure Bronco Rob might be able to host, but we'll see because it's Monday. So make sure you guys stay tuned in for that and hit your notification bells. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share this video with your friends and family. My heart to you all. We love you all, and we'll see. Confide.